We're here today in New York City for the Women of Influence Luncheon, and it's going to be all about the TJ Martell Foundation. Stay tuned for more on Live It Up. Now is Laura. She is the mastermind behind this. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great today. Thank you so much for being here, Donna.
Beautiful venue, beautiful people. Why are we here together for the Women of Influence?
So the wonderful thing about the Women of Influence Awards, we started this event 3 years ago, and it's really grown like crazy. So the idea was, number one, to bring women together because we all like our gal pals and love to get together when we can. And so we wanted to create a fun luncheon, but also that would get women together to focus on women's cancer issues, breast and ovarian cancer. Number one is so many women these days, as we all know, are diagnosed every day with a form of cancer. And it's our idea is to really bring women together, talk about cancer prevention, awareness, but also at the end of the game is to really focus on research. Because without research, there's not going to be cures. And our goal is to raise money to continue giving it to the scientists that will be, the key founders of new clinical trials and drug discoveries that are going to save the lives of these women.
And I loved the fact that when you walked right in, you had the little tip cards. It's like tips if you're dealing with cancer and tips for prevention and also wellness. And, it's everything down to the littlest detail. You have wonderful vendors here, fantastic raffle prizes. There's something for everybody. It's just a joyous occasion.
Well, I think that first of all, we're celebrating this event. It's May 1st. It's to me, it's springtime. It's a great way. It's Mother's Day month. It's just it's a perfect time for all of us to get together and celebrate, loving each other and doing what we can, again, to support one another and also make sure that all of us focus on getting our doctor's appointments, etc. Because the one thing that I've realized is that a lot of us get busy, whether you're, a professional and, working every day or you're a mom running kids around or whatever. We need to take time to to help ourselves. We need to focus on our own health and wellness and also get our yearly, doctor's appointments because that's what's going to help, help us with prevention and early detection.
Thank you so much. You shared that so beautifully.
Oh, thank you. And again, it's so nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you, and I really love your show. So
thank you. We're going to be doing a lot of great things together, and in October, too. So
that sounds great.
Stay tuned for more. Thanks so much. With us now is Robin Quivers, and she is the MC for the event. Welcome to the show, Robin. How are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you for having me.
Now, what is your affiliation with the TJ Martell Foundation, and why did you want to come out and make a difference today?
I was introduced to the organization by a friend, and then they asked me last year to host the Women of Influence Lunch, and I had so much fun and met so many incredible people. When they asked me to do it again, it was a no-brainer. I said yes.
Now, you have had a long-standing career, achievement after achievement after achievement. What do you attribute your early success to? Like, what was the moment for you that was a transformational moment?
Geez, what was a transformational moment? Well, I started out as a nurse, and I realized that it wasn't really answering the call of my soul. And so when I realized that you really have to have that soul fulfillment in order to be happy in life, that was, I think, a transformational moment.
And the first time that you heard yourself on the air, right, or an air check or something like that, what was that moment for you like? Do you remember when that happened? Whose show you were doing, or what that moment was when you got behind that mic and you actually were you as a personality?
I guess that happened early on. I sort of had my own style right from the very beginning, and so I didn't sound like a canned reporter. I didn't sound like the old-timey reporters, so I think it started right from the very beginning because I wasn't that polished.
And It was just you being authentically you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what are your exciting things that are going to be happening for you this year? What's on the agenda for you that really lights you up that you can't wait?
I'm waiting for summer. I want to play. This winter has been hibernation, and so I love being on the water and playing with my water toys. And I have lots of friends and family come and celebrate with me during the summer, so I'm really looking forward to it.
And besides all the things that you do on the mic, are there other ways that you show your creativity? Like, do you like to paint? Do you like to write poetry? Is there something that you just enjoy during those moments of quiet inner reflection?
I really like to cook. I know that doesn't sound very artistic, but I find it very creative and exciting because you never know exactly how it's going to turn out. And I like cooking for other people just to please them.
Yeah, I think that there is an art form in cooking too, right? You know, you got to get the ingredients and the way you're presenting it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I love it when people say part of the reason they come to visit is that the food is so good.
So we're going to Robbins and we're going to eat. Well, thank you so much. Have a beautiful time today. And really, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your moment here with me.
Thank you.
With us now is the vivacious Elaine Turner. How are you?
Hey, good. Thanks for talking to me.
I've seen people walk on the carpet, but you have a bounce of happiness in your step.
Well, you know, I'm from Texas, so we get a little perky down there.
So now, you know, Texas is known for big hair and high fashion, right? And so tell us about your experience being, you know, a college student there and how the transformation went from being a young woman of influence to the superstar that you are now.
Wow. That's so nice of you to say. But I think that, you know, it was a very organic journey, and I feel like that I always knew that I was creative, and I felt like that was my passion. And growing up, my parents always encouraged me to really be myself and pursue my creativity, and so fashion is really how that's all manifested. So
now, when you had clothes that you would buy at the store, were you the girl that was always like cutting off the sleeves and like bedazzling them? I just have to know.
put it this way, I spent a lot of hours in my mother's closet, right? And I got in a lot of trouble because I always had all her stuff on, her wigs, everything. You know, I'm from Texas. My mom was Miss Glamour Queen. So, you know, it was definitely instilled in me at a young age to express my creativity through fashion. And, you know, a lot of people can look at fashion and kind of sort of think of it as a little bit frivolous, but in my family it was really a form of self-expression. And, you know, we really looked up to it as that's kind of your individualism, is how you dress and how you know, appear. And so.
Now, do you create one-of-a-kind things for yourself? Do you like, you know what I mean? Like, do you design something you say, okay, that's only for me? And that's okay if you do.
Off, that's my, no. I mean, very rarely, but occasionally I will in some of my factories, like we'll tweak something and make it kind of special for me, especially if it's something that I knew that wouldn't really translate, you know, to the mass market. But yeah, occasionally. But, you know, those days are a little bit over. I've got to be like very frugal and practical now in my older age.
And how did you find out that you won this honor?
Well, Laura and I met up actually about a year ago here in New York, and we did an event on my Madison Avenue store for TJ Martell. And so my company does a lot of charity work, and we're very much focused on cancer organizations. My mom is a breast cancer survivor, so we've done a Houston event for TJ Martell and a New York event. So we're just connected. And right when I met her, she's also a fellow Texan. We were just had that like-minded philanthropic foundation, and that's really what it's all about, is using fashion to change lives and create a higher purpose for all of this, because it can't just be about beautiful things. It's really got to be about transforming people.
I agree. It's kind of like, I feel like now I'm going to be 50 June 3rd, and I feel like I'm now hitting my stride, and I feel like being on a playground, you know, with kids that you like, that you get along with, and you're all doing good things as a kid, I feel like this is like an adult playground, right? Where you're just like living
You
life.
gotta surround yourself with those people who have that like-minded value system, and who also, I think, want to do something for the greater good, who have that humanity aspect. Otherwise, life gets very hollow. You know, we all got to come together, and ultimately, I think we're all connected. I really believe that. So.
I sincerely do, and I can't wait to wear one of your fashions. I'm like, back to fashion. Well, you know, October 1st, I'm going to be working with them again for their big gala, and maybe you would like work with me, because I'm never good at knowing what to wear. So
Yeah, I would love to. You come see me at our store, and we'll totally get you going.
I would like that. Okay, stay tuned for
All
more
right.
on Live It Up.
Thanks.
With us now is our honoree for today. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
Good. How did you find out that you won this wonderful distinction?
Well, my coworker, Jim Gannon, actually called and said that, listen, you're being honored by the TJ Martell Foundation. And I was excited.
When you grew up, did you know that you wanted to be a woman of influence? Like, has that always been something for you, that you were just driven? How did that experience happen for you?
Actually, I was more of a shy type of person, so to be in a leadership position is actually a surprise for me as well. But in growing up, my parents were training me to be a leader.
And what do you signify as your secret to success? What are some right decisions that you made along the way that you say, you know what, thank goodness I took that opportunity, and thank goodness I did that?
I would start with a dose of humility, teamwork, honesty, and longevity.
And what are you hoping to do during this next year? What are some big challenges for you that you're hoping to attack?
Health within the transit authority. Bring awareness to the workers in regards to breast cancer screening and prostate cancer screening, because we have insurance. What's the purpose of having insurance if we're not going to use it? So bring awareness that we have insurance so that you all can, practice wellness.
And what do you love most about your career?
People, helping people, and being able to look back and say, if I can help one person along the way, then I know that my living isn't in vain.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful time today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stunning. Do you feel stunning?
Yes.
She's so stunning on the inside and outside. Stay tuned for more on Live It Up. With us now is our honoree, Kelly. How are you, my friend?
I'm great, thank you.
You came in, you work out of the New York office, correct? For
I do.
CSAC. Tell us about your position there.
Sure, I'm the head of finance and corporate development at CSAC, so all things numbers come through me.
Now, how did you first get that opportunity?
It's a great question. I've been in the media industry for 15 plus years, and I came to CSAC with our current chairman and CEO, who's a longtime friend and someone who I'd worked with 10 years ago in investment banking.
And how has music rights changed over the years? Have you seen a different thing now that the internet and everything's like so, rampant in terms of technology?
Sure, so I'm new to music, so my history is more in film and general entertainment. But from what I've seen in the last 12 months, it's changing tremendously, and streaming and online has definitely changed the whole landscape, and it feels like the business was pretty stable for, 20, 30 years, and has probably changed more in the past 12 months than in the 20 years before. So we think there's a lot of positives, and streaming is actually very good for where we sit in the media landscape, but it's definitely changing.
Now, winners are always winners. At least that's my experience, because I've been interviewing like 700 people over the last few years. And so you get this honor, but what I really want to know is I want to know what the first honor was. Did you win a coloring contest? Do you remember the first time that somebody said, hey, we really believe in you? And what that was like?
Sure, that's a really good question. I think that, is probably, more math related than winning a coloring contest. I have never won a coloring anything in my whole life. But I think early on, I was identified as, someone who really had a facility with numbers, and, sort of all the way through my education, I feel like I've been very lucky to have great sort of professors and mentors who have believed in me and really helped me so much along the way.
It's great that they have people like you and that you balance your checkbook, because my grandmother always said there's a reason there's a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker. And I'm not a numbers girl, which is why I thought about coloring, but you're absolutely right. So I celebrate your success, and thank you so much for being a woman of influence.
Thank you so much.
Happy journeys.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Congratulations on your big honoree win tonight.
Well, it is a wonderful cause, and I'm really glad to be part of it.
Now, one of the things I read about is the fact that you had lost your spouse, and I lost a spouse as well. And how did that moment change your life, and how did you use that as inspiration?
I think, you begin to take life in perspective, and I think you realize too that, don't sweat the big things. Look at, don't sweat the small things, but really look at the big things and be kind to everyone. That really helped me to be a better leader and also be a better person.
Did you think that your company was going to get as big as it is now? Did you ever have that vision for it?
Well, I was fortunate because the company was acquired by private equity in 2009. And when they brought me in to turn it around further, I think I already had a base to really start from there. And, having great people around you makes a whole lot of difference.
And what do you love most about what you do? Every day, what are you most passionate about?
I think I'm at the right place at the right time. Women today are not looking about becoming 20 years younger. They just want to be their best self, and I think I have the opportunity to just deliver that for them.
And you certainly do, time in and again, and you radiate. One thing that I've noticed about the honorees today is that they have a glow about them.
I think, we all feel so fortunate to be recognized by such a great organization. But thank you very much.
You're welcome. Happy journeys to you.
Thank you, you too. Take care.
With us now is Dr. Jimmy Holland, and she's one of the honorees today. Hello, doctor. How are you?
How are you? I couldn't be better.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
It's wonderful.
A woman of influence, obviously, you have always been a trailblazer. Can you tell me at what age you remember doing something a little unique that made you stick out in the crowd?
Well, let's see. I remember when I went to medical school, there was no place for women to live, and a friend and I collected money and got a place for the women to live together because they could then compete with the men who were able to share exams and all those things, and we didn't have that opportunity. So, yeah, that kind of stood out. Medical school.
So team builder. And where did you go?
Houston. That was in Baylor Medical in Houston, Texas.
Baylor. My friend Kathy went there.
There you go. It's a good place.
So you went to medical school, but even back then wasn't really a choice for women. What made you decide you could do it and you wanted to?
I always wanted to be a doctor from the time I was 6 or 7 years old, and they accepted 3 women per year at Baylor, and I studied really hard in college so I could get there, and I did, even though it was post-war and there were many veterans coming back. So it was fascinating, wonderful 4 years that I loved dearly.
You specialize in psychiatric oncology, which is new and almost unknown, and it must have been something that you kind of came up with. What is that?
Well, it didn't exist until about the mid-'70s when I came to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center here in New York, and at that time, no place had mental health services for patients with cancer. The idea is, well, they're sick. We don't need a psychiatrist, for goodness sake. But when I started, we began to show we could help people. We had some medications. We could do some support kind of counseling services. So we did it at Memorial, and that then kind of started the ripple effect. And so now it's a real subset of oncology. But there was nothing in the 70s till we started.
It's lovely that you're here today, and I thank you for all the contributions that you're making to everybody's life and well-being. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
With us now is Delilah. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You got stuck in a little bit of New York City traffic this morning.
A little bit? A little bit. That's an understatement. But my friend Chauderay is my driver when I'm here. He lives on Long Island, so he was doing the weave and the in and out and got me here. So I'm happy to be here.
How did you find out that you were awarded one of the honorees of the TJ Martell Foundation Women of Influence?
My business partner called me and told me, and I was so blessed and so flattered. And it was amazing that I got the information in the mail the same day that my producer, who has been my best friend for 25 years, got the word that her she's fighting breast cancer, came back clear. So it was funny that the timing of that was just amazing.
What a celebration of life.
It was.
And over the years, is that what you try to do? Are you trying to shine the light on happy goodness and happy stories and trying to help people with your program?
That's what my program's all about. I mean, we're certainly there through the tough times, and tough times are a reality in our life. But we try to shine the light on good news. We try to learn from bad choices, and I've made enough of them.
Me too.
That we want to learn from those and grow from those, and then share that information and share the gifts that God has given me or us with as many people as we can.
I'm glad you got here. I'm glad we kind of squeezed you in because, this is such a wonderful day here for TJ Martell Foundation. So happy journeys to you. And I just have to say your name. You ready?
Ready?
Delilah. Donna Drake and Delilah. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching Live It Up. You can reach out to us at liveituptvshow.com.